Hello and welcome. I'm Karen Chaston, and I'm so pleased to have you here for another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. And today, like always, I'd love for you to comment, let me know where you are coming in to see us today. And also, I am going to talk about emotions. You know, I've just had an amazing call with a lady who was actually in Wisconsin in the US. And it was so great to actually connect with her. And the reason, and she found me through Google, which is what you've obviously got to love. But she typed into the message, hi, Christine, great to see you here from Perth. So this lady from Wisconsin, her name's Sandra, and she just typed into Google, how do I stop the feelings and the regrets that I have over all of the losses in my life, which is totally amazing. And obviously I popped up because I just had a call with her, and she downloaded my book, The Life After Loss ebook, and we had an amazing half-hour chat. Hi, Kiki. Nice to see you from New South Wales. Soon to be in Perth. Okay, maybe you and Christine can catch up. So, and hi, Teresa from Canada. Great to see you. And Anne. Right. So what I want to talk about is emotions, regrets, and understanding how you can easily heal it. Like all of us, Sandra has had a lot of loss in her life. And when we start to deep dive into our losses, we start to realize that there is a gift there for everyone. And of course, sometimes it's really hard for us to find the gifts that we have in our lives. And thank you, Therese. Love and light to you. Great to see you. Hi, Erin. Hi, Anne. I don't think I've missed anyone. Okay. So we're going to talk about emotions. So I really would like you to deep dive in today into what holds you back from healing. You know, is it the emotions of you're being angry, you have regrets, you are just, not willing to forgive? You know, I have someone in my life, I'm not going to say who sent me this text once saying that he's never, ever going to forgive these people. And I'm sort of like, wow, forgiveness is such a misunderstood process and emotion that most people don't realize that you actually forgive others so that you can move on, so that life becomes easier for you because you're not stuck in whatever that event or whatever that occurrence was that you're finding hard to forgive the other person about it. And I always love Oprah's take on forgiveness. And if you are holding back forgiveness, it is like you are drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. That's what holding back on forgiveness is all about, because the other person has moved on. They're living and loving their life. And that event that you are finding really hard to forgive, they've probably forgotten completely all about it. So it's really interesting when you have these emotions and when you choose not to deep dive into them, how they really do bring you down and make your life so much harder than it needs to be. So that's what I want to talk about today. Is I want to talk about emotions, things that you feel you're finding really hard to move beyond. So let's deep dive into that. Okay, Anne, I have lost so many. I am heartbroken. And I totally agree, Anne. As I said, there's over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. And it's only when we start to deep dive into the emotions around each and of those events that we can find the gift, and that we can, stop being so heartbroken. And that's what I love to assist people with, is to do that deep dive into themselves. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not easy, okay? It's not easy to deep dive into our life and to see where we're at and to see what has happened in the past and to be able to move on. And it's really important for us to do that deep dive. That's what we're all here for. We're all spiritual beings having an earthly experience so that we can learn and grow on a soul level. And we don't do that without doing the deep dive. All we're doing is pushing it to the side and, using a lot of avoidance tactics, which are not good. I'm the first to say, yep, tick, tick, tick to most of the avoidance tactics. So what are avoidance tactics? All you got to do is look around. We've created a world where it's so easy to go into avoidance. Just look at the alcohol, pharmaceutical industries. Just have a look at the retail, like we even call it retail therapy, and it's just an avoidance tactics. If you find yourself continually shopping and continually actually doing that, it's about you sort of stopping and then asking yourself, why? Why do I feel that I have to continually shop? What is it that I'm getting? What am I getting from it? What void is it actually filling in my life? And it's really important for us to do that stop and to deep dive in to find out why we're doing these avoidance tactics. Continually being busy is an avoidance tactics, because it's the stopping is where you find all the answers. It's actually in the stopping that you first of all get to ask all of those meaningful questions. And until we stop, we don't ask the questions. So therefore we can't find the action. We can't find the answers, which means we won't be able to find the action steps to be able to move forward and create that life. Okay, I'm going to start reading your answers. Thank you, Christine, for sending me abundance of love, light, and support. Beautiful. I really appreciate you doing that. And I'm sending it back to you and to everyone else, whether you're watching this live or in the recording. So love and light and abundance to everyone who is listening. And I really appreciate you being here. Emotions of not feeling worthy, I guess that is. Of not feeling worth. Christine, I guess it's a not feeling worthy. Now, not feeling worthy is a really interesting emotion. And it's about why. Why don't you feel worthy? Like, do you feel worthy of your own love? Do you feel worthy of your own acceptance? Do you feel worthy of living and loving an amazing life? To have love come to you as well as for you to give out. What we find a lot of the times when people don't feel worthy, it's because they may not have been given the love that they required as a younger child. And when we deep dive into the process that, the events that happened, especially the loss events in our lives, especially between 0 and say 10 or even, 0 and 20, it's amazing how you can see that we create these feelings and we create these beliefs. And sometimes the beliefs have been created from misunderstandings, from a child's perspective. An adult has said something or done something, and a child has misinterpreted it to come up with the feeling of, well, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of their love and affection. I'm not worthy of their time. I'm not worthy of, this, that, the whole lot of it. And it's surprising how when you deep dive into the events that actually are maybe at the crux of your feeling not worthy, you will find that they may have been a misunderstanding on your behalf. We are all worthy. We are all worthy of not only our own love and affection, time, abundance, that everyone is. And it's really important for us to know that there is no one better than you. There is no one who is higher than you. There is no one. It's really important for us to understand that there is no one that is more worthy than you. We reflect each other. I know that I'm worthy. Therefore, I know that you are worthy. And if you'd like to, I'm really going to, Christine, it's really important. I'm not sure if I know you've been on here before, and I'm not sure if you've done the Revitalize Your Life 45 days activities, because they will actually assist you to know that you are worthy, that, they will bring the clarity so that you can have all of the joy and fulfillment that we all desire in our lives. So I highly recommend, Christine, if you haven't joined already, here is the link for you to join. And I will also post it as well. And feel free at any times to just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to have a 30-minute chat with you. Just reach out, book into my calendar, and we can then actually deep dive into why you don't feel you're worthy. Hope that's cool. Cleaning is my avoidance. Wow. Christine, you want to come to my house and clean? Because that's something I certainly do not love to do. One of my greatest sayings is, I don't think anyone lies on their deathbed going, I wish I'd cleaned more. Sure, it's something we all must do. But yeah, and I have this amazing site where I don't see the dirt a lot of the time. It's always tidy. It just maybe a little bit needs a bit of dusting or something like that. So reach out anytime. I really do would love you. I'm not sure. Type in, have you joined the Revitalize Your Life 45 Day series before? For anyone who doesn't know about it, it is literally a 45 days where you sign up, costs you $1 a day. So it's only $45. It costs you $1 a day. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, it's not going to sneeze. And through, excuse me, and through the process, you start to have more awareness. It's all designed to help you to reconnect to who you are. What I have found with all of the people that I have worked with in assisting them to move beyond any kind of loss, one of the loss events that always comes up is their loss of identity. So through life, we tend to lose a little bit of ourselves. Thank you, Anne. We tend to lose who we are. And it may be because so-and-so didn't like it when we did this, or didn't like it when we said that. And, we've lost our friends, or we've lost this, or we've lost whoever along the way. So what this Revitalize Your Life actually does, it assists you to reconnect to you, to revitalize your life. Because once you start to make you a priority in your life and start to realize that you matter, you really do matter. Not only for your friends and your family, but for every single person in this world, you matter. And it's important for you to realize that. So that's what this does. Okay. So I'm going to go back. I love it. Staying in bed is mine. Wow, Lee. So what is it about staying in bed? What is it about you not wanting to face the day, like jumping out of bed, excited about what the day is about to bring to you, is the most ideal place for all of us to be and to love. And I can tell you right now, the Revitalize Your Life will help you with that as well. But it's about you asking yourself some questions. And one of the major questions is, what is it that I am avoiding in my life? Is it because what I'm about to do is not bringing me joy? Is it because the people in my life, I just want to put the covers over my head and I just want to stay here and I just want to avoid it? Because staying in bed is not living and loving your life. It's that simple. Sure, we require sleep, and 7 to 8, 9 hours is what's highly recommended. But after that time, when you have revitalized yourself, when you have, rest and restored yourself, then's the time for you to live and love your life. And so it's about you deep diving into you and asking yourself your questions. What is it that I'm avoiding in my life? Is it my job? Is it a job that I don't love? Now, If you don't love your job, I'm here to tell you right now, today is the day that you are going to put a date in a calendar on when you're going to leave that job that you really don't love, right? And it doesn't matter whether it's in a week's time, a month's time, a year's time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 20 years' time. But now's the day that you put that date in your calendar, and then you sit down and you figure out what job you would love to have and you know that you would love doing. And then you're going to figure out what are the skills that you require in order to do that job. And what is it that you need to learn? And what is it that you can do each day up until that date to ensure that you can leave that job that you hate now? That's all it takes, is for you to get a job that you love. It's about you taking the time to sit down and to plan, to dream. Because if you dream the job that you want, you can get it. Sure, you may have to do a little skills training or different activities in order to get there, but now is the time for you to actually start that journey of getting that new job. And as I said, it doesn't matter if it's a 20-year journey, you can still get there. And then you won't be lying in bed. You'll be jumping out of bed before the alarm even goes off, because you're excited about the day that you're about to have. So Lee, please, Lee Marie, I'm not sure if you say both names, but anyway, Lee Marie, now is the time for you to figure out what it is in your life that keeps you in bed. Okay, the family has sent a loud message to me that I'm not worthy. Well, why are you believing what they're saying? And why aren't you starting to do things, Lee Marie, to ensure that they actually know you are worthy? Because that's what I would really love for you. Click on the Revitalize Your Life link, because, and I will, after this, I will repost it under your message, because seriously, you are worthy. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because do you know what? They don't know you. They don't know you inside and out. They are seeing you through their beliefs, through the way that they think you are. So it's about you doing that deep dive into you and you bringing out all of your joy, all of your love, all of your fulfillment, so that they will go, oh my God, look at Lee Marie. I can't believe how beautiful she is, how much she shines, how much she's really living and loving her life. Just look at her. Seriously, click on the link, because I can tell you right now, you will be thanking me $1 a day. And I'm not keeping it at this time all the time. Makes me feel accomplished. Excellent, Christine. And I get it. I totally get it. When you look at a clean house, you do feel accomplished. But may I suggest that you actually put all of that time and energy into something that will also make you feel accomplished, but also will help you to have a lot of joy and love in your life. I lost a part of me when my parents passed. I totally understand, Colleen, that your parents can be so much a part of your life. But remember, you are here on a life journey. And it's really important for us all to know that we are the only person that we are going to spend our entire life with. Now, I'm going to say that again. We are the only person that we are going to spend our entire life with. There is no one else we spend 24/7 with each week, for every single week of our life. So it is really heart-wrenching when our parents pass. We feel like orphans when our parents pass. And my dad is on the other side and my mum is here. She's 91. And I know it will be really sad when she decides to go on to her next adventure. But it's really important for us to know that it's their adventure. So we're only here for a short time. We don't know how long that time is. As most of you know, my son Dan was here for 27 years. My mother is here already for 91 years. My dad was here for 77. So it's really important that we actually realize that even though they're not here in the physical, our emotional connection and our spiritual connection will live on forever. And they don't want us to be sad. They're off on their adventure. They're zooming here and they're zooming into so many different universes, and they're there at the same time in about, I don't know, an infinite number of different places at the same time. They're not like us, where we're just in one space at one time. So it's really important for you to know that the best way that you can honor your parents is for you to live and love your life. And we have so many resources available to us in the times that we live. You have to be grateful that we have actually all decided to be here in the information age, because we have information at our fingertips where we can deep dive into, have a conversation with them. We have so many spiritual beings around us who do assist us to be able to more or less pick up the phone and talk to them and have a conversation with them. And if you don't know any, obviously you're on this platform, but I'm more than happy to recommend people to you. So PM me, reach out to me, but there's so many amazing people. And one of them I really like to meet is Beth Elaine Hayes. So I'm going to type her name in here and then connect with her on Facebook. She is an amazing channeler. I have really, to be quite honest, she's my spiritual guidance teacher. And I really highly recommend that you actually connect with Beth if you'd like to have a conversation with your parents. And believe me, that's probably why you're here today, Colleen, so that you can do that. Okay, Anne, I'm totally lost, always being told what to do. Okay, Anne. So I'm going to get really stern with you now. I'm going to say why. Why? I'm going to ask you that question. Why are you allowing people to tell you what to do? Of course you feel lost, because you're not honoring your soul. You're not honoring the person who you came here to be. You're allowing everyone else to tell you what to do. You know, I don't know if you've ever read the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. She was an Australian palliative care nurse, and she interviewed a lot of her patients in palliative care. And if you're not aware, most people in palliative care, they never come out. Most of them will die. I think it's like 99% of people in palliative care will pass and go on to their next adventure. So she interviewed these people, and then she wrote the book. Thank you, Christine. It is an amazing book. And the number one regret of the dying was, I wish I'd had the courage to live the life that was true to me. Okay. Now, so what I'm reading, Anne, and please correct me, but I'm taking your comment as I'm totally lost, always been told what to do. So you are not having the courage to live your life the way that you want to live your life. So that's why you're lost. You're disconnected to who you are. And I totally understand that it's not easy to watch your husband and your brother pass. But it's also important for you to be able to heal from that. So I really would love for you to connect with me. Happy to give you a 30-minute consultation where we can just chat. But it's time. You're on this call for a reason. You're on this call so that you can actually start to not feel lost. Okay? You, as much as anyone else in your life, deserve your love, attention, and it's really important for you to be able to live your life. Okay, so please reach out. And if not, if you do nothing else, please do click on the link, the Revitalize Your Life link. Don't try, and do. There's a big difference between try and do. Actually, to be quite honest, try shouldn't even be in our vocabulary, because it's a matter of do. You either do or you don't. There's no trying in between. Do it or don't do it. But that's okay. Whatever you decide to do is okay. But know that if you want more joy in your life, it's time for you to reconnect to you, to stop feeling lost. It's never easy to watch your loved one pass. Most of you know, I found my 27-year-old son, Dan, dead at my back door nearly 10 years ago. And that was not easy. That was the last thing I expected. The last thing my mother expected was obviously to be at her grandson's funeral. She's like, this is so wrong. He should be at mine. It shouldn't be the other way around. So it's really important for us all to know that we're on a journey, a spiritual journey, because we're all spiritual beings having an earthly experience where we all came down here to live life. And most of you know my infinity sign behind me is all about the love and loss. Okay. So I believe we're on an infinite journey from love to loss and back to love again. Hopefully, a lot of us get stuck in the loss because the pain and the suffering is overwhelming at times. And none of us, not very many of us, have been taught how to move beyond loss, which is why I do what I do. Because after losing Dan, I did what all of us do. Keep busy, give it time, everything will be okay. Well, I'm here to tell you that those old cliches and the old beliefs on how to move beyond loss, they're not working. That's why we live in a world of avoidance. I spoke about the shopping and the food, alcohol, drugs, a whole lot of it. But more importantly, we're in avoidance. Look at social media. We've created a world where we can avoid so easily. How easy is it to sit on the couch all weekend and just say, well, I'm busy. I'm watching, a Netflix trilogy that goes on for 24 shows for 10 seasons of 24 shows. I've got 240 shows to watch. That's not living and loving your life. That's deep diving into someone else's. And that's what it's about. Okay. Hopefully you'll reach out. Either do or don't. That'd be great. Thank you, Anne. Trace, healing a broken heart. Deep diving to you, Trace, and my gift of loss process will obviously help you, because you will find the gift in that process of what the broken heart is all about. But what I've also found is how disconnected were you from you? How disconnected were you from your life? With this broken heart, obviously your partner, were you being you? Were you being true to you? Were you doing the things that you love to do? Or were you continually doing what they wanted to do? And then all of a sudden they're gone and you don't know who you are, which is what I find over and over again with the people that I assist to move beyond loss. And it is about you deep diving into you and finding you again, because through life, we tend to lose who we are. And that's why I created the Revitalize Your Life as the first step, because people are so disconnected from themselves that they get stuck in the loss. They get stuck in the broken heart, and they're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move beyond. So Trace, I really would say that this is the best thing. It's the best value you're ever going to get. It's 45 days of activities where each day I add a new activity into your own dedicated area that you sign into. I also send you an email to remind you that it's there. It takes a maximum of 45 minutes each day to do it. And if you tell me you don't have an hour a day, I'm going to say BS, because I've never, ever worked with anyone that I can't find at least 10 hours a week, even if it means getting up an hour earlier each day and doing the exercise. Believe me, the more that you deep dive into this Revitalize Your Life and you get, do each of the 45 days of activities, the more that not only will you find extra time in your life, you'll also find the love for yourself. you'll find what's missing, and you'll start to realize that there are things in that relationship that you would like to apologize for, that you'd like to forgive, and you'd also like to acknowledge. And once we go through that process of actually doing that, you will find that you've not only revitalized yourself, but you've revitalized the love for yourself. And it's not a vanity love, it's the love that, you know what, I'm important, I matter, I'm really going to create my time around what I want to do. And that's when you will find that you'll actually have more people come into your life, more people who are more in tune to you the way that you are. But we've got to tune into ourselves first. I have processed my apologies. I need to, no. Okay. We never ever apologize, forgive, or acknowledge direct to the other person. Okay. Because it just will create more angst. So that's the really important process, Trace, for you to understand. As I said, I'd love to have a 30-minute chat with you. I can assist you to be able to do it. There is a process, right? Just know that we're energetically connected. You do not have to do it direct to anyone else, whether they're in this realm or whether they're in another realm. Just PM me and I'll send you a link. I don't have my calendar link here for you to be able to book in. But believe me, there is a process. But start with the Revitalize Your Life. $1 a day, $45. It's a low-brainer. In my opinion, it's a low-brainer. If you can't find $1 a day, just give up coffee for a couple of weeks, believe me, for 10 days and you'll have your money. It's that simple. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Okay. Seeking clarity right now. Okay, I've spoken to Anne and Trace. Christine. They are certainly, you are so right, Christine. And I'm going to actually highlight this for everyone to see, because it's really important that we don't look at our loved ones as dead, because they're just not in the physical realm. They're just not here. They are still a part of our lives. That's why I actually say that Dan, who passed nearly 10 years ago, is the co-founder of the Chaston Centre. It's that simple. He is the one that is guiding me all the time. You know, I used to be a CFO of a publicly listed company. There's no way I would have ever been doing this at noon on Monday when he was alive. Of course, I was so busy being busy. And yes, I was in avoidance, didn't realize it. Because you know what I was in avoidance about before Dan passed, which I've done a lot of work on since, is I had this constant drum inside of me that was really telling me that I wasn't as fulfilled. You know, on the outside, I looked at, had an amazing job, amazing salary. I was actually earning more. I was paying more in tax than most of my friends were even earning. So I had a great salary. I had a great job, had a beautiful house, my kids, you know, overseas trips. If you looked at me, everyone would have gone, success, success, success. She's ticked all those. Mute. Okay. So I had, it looked like my mic had mute. Hopefully you can still hear me. But anyway, what I found was I had this constant drama inside of me that was actually going, when are you going to start to live and love your life? When are you going to start to do what you're here to do? When are you going to start to do what you're here? So I was happy on the outside, but great. Thank you, Christine. So what I was like, what's going on? This is really, you know, you would think I'd be so fulfilled, but I wasn't. And that's the thing, is I was disconnected. I was eating too much. I was drinking too much. I was certainly working way too much. And that's why I do what I do now, is to help people to reconnect to who they are. Because when we connect to who we are, we start to realize that we require less. We require more love, but we require more less things around us, because we start to realize that the things are giving us 15 seconds of joy. You know, if we go and get this, we're like, oh, wow, how great is this, you know, sort of thing. And then we move on to the next thing very, very quickly. So we move beyond that 15 seconds of joy to, I want joy in my life all the time. And what are the things that will bring me joy? And we start to realize it's when I start to do the things that I love to do. It's when I start to say no to others and yes to me. That's what brings me joy. That's what brings me fulfillment. And that's why when we get stuck in the loss, and there are, as I've always say, there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. So when we get stuck in that loss, we start to realize that we're disconnected, and we've probably been disconnected from our true selves for a long time. Now, I know that Dan's passing assisted me to wake up from my Groundhog Day days. You know, I was in this days where every day was the same, and I was just going through the motions. I wasn't living in love and joy or fulfillment. So that's where we ask ourselves, where am I at? You know, where am I at in my journey of creating love, joy, and fulfillment in my life? You got to figure it out. And I can't do that for you. Only you can do that. But you've got to stop to do it. You've got to stop and find the true answers for yourself. And that's what I assist people to do. I show them how to stop. I show them the ideal questions to ask themselves. And it's in seeking those answers that you slowly come back to you. And you slowly come back to realizing that A, you don't need a lot of stuff. You thought you did, but you don't. And you start to realize that it's the things that you do and the people around you and you being true to you, that's what brings you the joy. So I hope that assists you. Christine, I constantly self-sabotage myself to help others. So why are you doing that, Christine? Like, why do you feel, and I know you've said earlier that you don't feel worthy, but it's time for you to stop it. It's time for you to learn a really important little exercise. And I'm going to go through it now for everyone. And thank you everyone for playing today. Thank you everyone for typing in and saying things and leading me to where we're meant to be today. So the thing is that when you continually say yes to others, you're actually saying no to yourself. And it's about you realizing, why am I saying no to me? Why have I decided that I am not worthy? That, you know, that I will constantly say yes to them and avoid my life. Okay, so this is the first question. So when someone asks you something, there's a little exercise that you need to put space between the request and you answering. And that space is you asking yourself, or even writing down if you have time, this little question. So the first question is, will this bring me joy? Okay. If I do this thing that people have asked me to do, will it bring me joy? And more than likely, the answer is going to be no. The second question you're going to ask is, if I do this, is this going to deplete my time and my energy? Right? More than likely, the answer is it probably will. So that's when you say no. And then the third one is, if I do this, is this going to move me closer to my goals? Now, I have to ask you, Christine, and you don't have to answer. in the comments, but I'd like you to answer for yourself. Do you actually have goals? Do you have goals and in all areas of your life? Now, in the Chaston Centre Wellness Wheel of Life, there are 12 areas of life, and there should be a goal for every single one of them that you are constantly working towards. So my question to you is, if you're continually saying yes to others, is it because you don't have goals for yourself? You don't have things that you would like to do for yourself, which will move you forward to where you would like to be in your life. Is that the reason why people are continually asking you to do things for them, because you don't have things to do for yourself? So I'm feeling that probably that is why you are constantly self-sabotaging yourself and doing what other people want. Okay, so you do have goals, but they're big goals. Have you broken your big goals down? Have you chunked them down and chunked them down and chunked them down? Because if we look at a big goal and we're sort of standing at the bottom of this gigantic mountain and going, oh my God, I have to go all the way up there. And of course, just the thought of it is, oh, I'm not going to do anything. But if you chunk your big goals down and chunk them down, say you have a goal that's going to take you a year to do, chunk them down into weekly activities, chunk them down into daily activities, and chunk them down into even hourly activities. And then that's what you look at. You only look at that small portion. Okay. I can remember when I went to university and did my Master's of Accounting degree. It was, because I went to Bond University, it was a, 2.5 years of my life. And I was working full time as well. And I had teenage kids and all this sort of stuff. So it was, because I didn't go to university until I was 38. So it was literally like, oh my God, if I had looked at, oh my God, this degree, this master's degree is going to take me 2.5 years. Oh, I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as a semester. Okay, for this 13 weeks, I have these 2 subjects. That's all I'm looking at. I'm just going to work through these 2 subjects for 13 weeks. And then, of course, 13 weeks went past, did the exams, I passed, I moved on to the next one. And then it just continued on. And before I knew it, I had completed all 15 subjects. I had my master's degree. So chunking down your goals so that they become bite-sized goals, then you're like, I can easily do that. I'm excited about that. But it's the thing that we've all got to do is chunk them down, chunk them down. The next thing is that little chunk, that activity needs to go into our calendar. Okay? And you need to have an understanding with yourself that you don't move your goals, activities for anyone or anything. So if someone says to you, can you help me with this? And you look in your calendar and it says activity 50 for goal 5, you say, no, I can't. I'm doing my stuff today at that time. It's in my calendar. It cannot move for anyone. This is my hour, 2 hours on working on my goals. Good luck with your stuff. I'm doing my stuff. Does that help, Christine? Because it really is so simple when you chunk down your big goals. But as I said, make sure you have goals for every single area of your life. And then you'll start to realize that every single area of your life is thriving. They're all moving along amazingly because you each week are doing a little bit in it to ensure that all areas of your life are thriving. That's how you create balance in your life. It isn't this mysterious thing that no one can have. What you focus on grows. It's that simple. Hope that makes sense. Thank you, Christine. Now, just remember, it's time for you to say no to everyone else and yes to you. And ask those 3 questions when anyone asks you something. If I say yes to this, am I saying no to me? If I say yes to this, is this going to deplete my time and energy? If I say yes to this, am I saying no to my goals? And you'll very quickly begin to realize that it's time for you to say no to them and yes to me, because you, like everyone else, matters. Okay, rightio. Well, here we are. 45 minutes already. I've been talking for 45 minutes. I'm going to have a quick drink. Is there any more questions that anyone would like to ask? I've just read the rest of your comment, Christine. I avoid doing it so I don't fail. Okay. I apologise for not reading all of it before, but I have to say, failure is our greatest lesson. We learn so much from failure. You know, Thomas Edison, he said he found out 10,000 ways on not to make a light bulb before he made a light bulb. So, but he kept trying and he kept doing something different about it. So if you start to look at failure as a gift, because it will teach you how not to do something, but you will learn so much more from it than just the fact that that's not how I do it. You'll also learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn how resilient you are, how no matter what happens in your life, you get up and you keep going. And you will start to realize just how smart you are, how amazing you are, because failure is really a gift. And I know so many people look at failure as this really bad thing, but I'm here to tell you it's a gift. So just have a little mindset shift on how you view failure, because I can tell you right now, so many people have failed. Let's look at Oprah, right? I had the privilege of spending a couple of hours, I think it was 2.5 hours with Oprah way back in, I think, 2016, along with 10,000 other people, when she came to Sydney and she told her story. And she was a newsreader. She started her career as a newsreader. And she said, I was shocking. I was a complete failure as a newsreader. She said, I was reading the teleprompter once and I pronounced, and I said, and at the moment in Canada, right, which was Canada, she mispronounced Canada because she read it and she phonetically sounded it out. So she said, I was hopeless. They were sacking me. They literally said to me, you are the worst newsreader ever, but you have contract up until here. So why don't we just put you in as the host of this TV show until the end of your contract, and then we'll all be happy. And of course, she became the host of her own show. Now, she thrived as asking questions. She just was no good at being a newsreader, but she was an amazing host, as we all know, and that's where she went. So for her, failure was a great lesson, because she realized, well, I'm no good in this spot, but she found where she was amazing. And it's like, you know, the old little cliche, as, you know, if you put a fish out of water, if you get a fish to try and climb a tree, it will be a failure. But if you put it in the river, it will swim everywhere and be brilliant at it. So it's about always knowing that if we're in the wrong spot, we probably will fail in that spot. But then when we get into where we were meant to be, we will always thrive and grow. But it's only through taking the action steps that we actually know whether it is the right or wrong spot for us. With anger as a child. That's interesting. So deep dive into that and heal it, because obviously maybe it was your parents that were just pushing you too hard and they weren't realizing that maybe that wasn't your essence, that part that you were no good at, where you failed, but over here you are amazing at this. So it's time to release it and to heal our child wounds, which of course we always can do quite easily. And if you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. Well, everyone, I am just about at the end of my show. Thank you all for being here. As always, reach out. Highly recommend that if you haven't joined Revitalize Your Life, now is the time. Here is the link for it. Now is the time for you to actually deep dive in and heal whatever is not serving you in your life. But more importantly, to realize that when you have the clarity, you really can bring joy, love, and fulfillment into your life, which is totally amazing way to live your life. So that's it for me this Monday, the 24th of May. Reach out if you have any questions, if you'd like to connect. And before I go, I'm going to read you the card that I drew before I start from this amazing little box. Is that in there? Yes. So this is the Channel Spiritual Guidance Cards by Marcia Quinton. And today, believe it or not, card 36 came up, which is the Spirit Guidance. So let's read this before I go. You have called upon Spirit. I am here with you. Listen carefully and you will hear me. You will feel the essence of my being by my vibration that surrounds your auric energy. You know who I am and I will help you. Reach out with your heart and feel my light. You will feel it gently guiding you as if my hand is touching you on your shoulder, steering you gently forward on your path. Open your mind and listen to the whispers of change that might be carried on the wind. It circles your whole being. The light begins to glow from the energy that is touching you from the divine. You are not alone. We are with you. What a beautiful way to end this. I never read the card before I came on. I just picked it. How amazing is that? To always know that you are not alone, that we are with you. And we're all with each other. We may not appear to be, but we are. So thank you again for being here. It's been amazing, and I look forward to seeing you here again next week. Bye for now.